welcome back to Downtime Activities, and welcome back to the Devils of the West. When last we left these rootin' tootin' cowpokes, they had just gotten done starting to track down what's going on in Halter's Parish, hometown of one Edmunda Parnell. After asking around, ending up at the meat processing and canning plant, you've kind of discovered that potentially there was a group of people who you think were potentially hired by someone else to extract the body of Ed's Ed's brother, from his grave and take it, God damn it, Ron, and potentially put it on a boat near the, out sloughing off point of gross rotten meat into the river, where that boat would have likely floated downriver towards a bunch of uninhabited swamp. And that's where we kind of left off. Well, uninhabited is a strong, very strong word. Uncivilized.
Depends on what's living in the swamp.
It is very inhabited. We will put it that way.
The issue is that it's what's living in the swamp and not whom is living in the swamp.
That's where we left off. You all, not all of you, one of you sitting in a house of a bunch of potentially dead people. The other four of you, however.
I mean, the house of dead people, not a house with dead people.
House of the dead people, for the dead people, by the dead people. And those of you who are alive and well, undead, brought back, spirit inhabiting by the rest of you.
The one person I was going to say the one person who hasn't yet seen the other side, but that's not true. The professor hasn't died yet. So.
Not yet.
Way to fucking jinx it right now.
Good luck this session, buddy.
What's your next character going to be, Jerry? It's times like these you should consider.
He's going to be zombie bogus.
He's going to turn into
bogus.
We're going to turn
his character's backup character is going to be Buffalo Hoffman, which is a joke only we'll understand right now. The rest of you, though.
Yeah. I guess we need to go into the bayou.
I'll look around the landry place since I'm stuck here all day. I'm not really expecting to find anything, but I'm not doing anything else.
Give me a notice. Not a research, that's for sure.
Landry's weren't much for reading. That's a 5.
What you can really notice here is that the place has been rifled through. Probably in a investigation. You don't think anyone's you do looking around, find some odds and ends that you think could be potentially valuable. If you feel like robbing from this place, there could be some jewelry and stuff. It doesn't seem like the place has been looted. And you would think that big house like this probably would have been looted if people weren't scared to death of it. But clearly been rifled through. People have looked through investigating the place. Also though, it's hard to exactly tell the difference between what is people investigating and what was clearly a household of people quickly gathering things and leaving.
Right.
That is clear to see standing here, that this place has been people grabbing and getting out of this place in a hurry.
Going to their doom.
Their potential doom.
Alright, well I'm going to try to organize the hooligans to we need to go on a trek into the bayou.
Okay.
Probably not right now we'll take Ed with us, but...
So in the middle of the night then?
Oh, yeah. But, yeah, we'll have to organize a trip into the bayou.
Okay. All your peeps are around, so you can...
We're organizing ourselves into the
How about gather the hooligans? They're all with you.
I don't think anyone was off on their own at the end of the last one. You guys kind of spread out a bit and all came back together.
I must gather my posse. Oh!
Oh, shit.
Jesus Christ!
Never sneak up on a man like that.
I was looking for you. Good, the whole time.
So I assume the group of you then you're wanting Ed to come with you for this Bayou expedition. So you are heading back to the Landry house. You'll be able to do so you're heading back into the bayou. You head back there and you can arrive back to the Landry house.
Alright, I'll tell you what I done saw. And ask if can you navigate us into the bayou like that? Or is that we'll have to...
It's a lot easier by boat than it is by land.
I can get us a boat. Probably. Allegedly.
And it's just like, if they went downriver by boat, there's a good chance that, like,
Do you have money for a boat?
anywhere we're going,
I mean, I
horses aren't going to get all that easily.
And you would know that, especially in that part of the swamps, it's probably not a great idea to tie your horse up and walk away.
You remember when you were doing all that treasure hunting in Red Dead Online, and there was that one particular bridge that you're like, fuck this bridge. There's a gator that lives under it. Every time I ride by, he spooks my horse. Yeah. So like, we ride up to the bridge, and you just tossed a stick of dynamite into the water, and then we crossed the bridge. Imagine that, but no bridges, and just miles and miles.
It's miles and miles of underneath that bridge.
Yeah, we'll have to pitch in to get a boat, and then we can make that happen. How are we gonna? I guess we can just meet you someplace along the river or something, and then pick you up.
Yeah, I mean, we should probably find a place to leave our horses.
That's true.
Where they're not going to be gatored.
Gators.
And Landry House is
Not even
half boathouse, so...
The good news is, you're pretty confident, Ed, that you could navigate to that main river from here, from the Landry House itself. And, I mean, you'd probably want to do it nightfall or dark when people couldn't see you, because you'd have to ride, or like sail past Halter's Parish, but you could do so. You wouldn't have to like ride downstream a long way and have them pick you up at some point.
Right.
Like you could get in together. You're pretty confident.
Landry's used to have boats, but they took them all with them.
Yeah, there's no
wherever
boats
it was
left.
they went.
Fair enough.
to their doom. I mean, well, and part of the problem is leaving. It might be best to leave Halter's Parish and head back upriver before we get a boat, because I don't know if like leaving my horse in Halter's Parish is a good idea.
Okay.
Wait a minute, I know that pony. You're under arrest.
Yeah.
I just come back and my horse has been handcuffed to a rail or something.
I thought you were about to say my horse has been hung. It's like, what the hell?
Riding in a bed. How do you plead? Nay.
He doesn't even know what he's done. Denying it. He put his hoof on the Bible and everything.
Just reminded me of the giving a horse the greater enemy. Every time you walk into, a guy steps out to the street and calls the horse out for a duel.
Buckskin the pony, I'm calling you out.
That horse killed my pa. I was trying to steal him. Stop trying to shoot my horse.
I will have my revenge.
So,
yeah, going up river's probably. I mean, it might put a little bit of time on it, but if it's the safer move, then it's the safer move.
I mean, we just need to like find a stable to leave our horses at, and
That's fair. They don't really have that at Halter's Parish.
yeah, and I mean, we could probably find somebody to take care of the horses. Like just like my
Yeah, I was
horse once
thinking about
again.
how much I
Once
love
again,
bog
I'm the problem.
alligators, and apparently
Well,
it's
yeah,
a lot.
that's kind of this whole arc.
Thanks.
I am once again here asking you to acknowledge the fact that I am the problem.
What?
I'm gonna shoot about my snacks.
And then eating all the snacks.
How dare you?
I have no regrets.
He's having his cake and talking shit about it.
Man, this steak is terrible.
Why does it taste like shit?
So what are you doing with the horses? And what are you doing with in terms of getting a boat? How are you going about these things?
No, go take a Shakira Spanky.
Right. Into the drink.
He winces when he hears his name.
That's true.
You can handle it out.
Yeah, we shouldn't leave.
Wouldn't know what
Spanky
to
doesn't
do.
even like water. We should.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we'll head back upriver to the nearest town. Actual town.
Okay.
We'll stable our horses and rent a boat.
There's a guy in Halter's Parish who has a boat. That probably wouldn't just immediately turn me in on sight, but I can't guarantee that. So.
Well,
probably
why
better,
not?
yeah.
I assume you are not going to the negotiation of these things, though. You kind of
Right.
keep it to yourself, because this is
Still Louisiana.
just up road from the place where you did the crime. Everyone around here will have seen your poster.
The point of going upriver is entirely so people don't recognize my horse immediately.
So 6 horses total, correct? 5 horses.
Yeah,
Don't
you still have your other horse, don't you?
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
honestly, you just tie up all the horses
George.
besides Gideon and leave Gideon untied and have him patrol and stomp out any crocs that come.
Not incorrect.
George.
It'll be a total, just to like stable overnight, essentially. It'll be a total of $3 to stable the 6 horses, and they'll
you
be
gonna
safe and
sacrifice your
kept away
$3?
from the gators. And
Yeah.
to rent, you're wanting just one paddle boat big enough for the 5 of yous.
Right.
We'll call that $5.
Okay. I can eat the $5.
That's all of your money.
What a power move. Gonna ask for $5 and you just eat it.
I just want to point out that Jeffers has like $230 and he never
Jeffers
pitches in.
Jeffers is gonna pay for
That's
it.
because Jeffers is a businessman.
He's a shrewd businessman.
I don't want to say how much Bogus has right now.
Everybody always volunteers to pay. No one's like,
I
hey
don't-
Jeffers, you probably have a lot of money.
I
This
don't
man
have.
steals and asks for money
I'm
from me.
at $95, which is better than I was at for a while. Partially just because
You're
I
paying for the
helped
boat
pay
this
his
time.
mortgage.
Okay. I paid you back.
Matty G, fearless
like
leader
it.
of this party, or Mohan, fearless leader of this party, just asks whoever's standing next to him for money all the time, which just always happens to be Grimes.
He's got to keep an eye on Grimes.
It's true.
Somebody's got to.
If he turns around, if Mohan turns around to ask Grimes to borrow $5 and Grimes isn't there, it's like, where's Grimes?
Me pickpocketing the dead.
Pickpocketing the dead or swooning over some lady.
Yeah, my two moods.
Or swooning over some booze.
Yep.
Some booze.
Swooning, what, because
Boobs
you
and
had too much
booze.
boobs and booze.
Boobs and booze.
A Grimes story.
B and B.
Are you guys waiting for the night to come, kind of lounging about throughout the day, getting a little bit of rest? Nightfall will arrive, and I assume you lot are loaded up on a paddle boat and heading down river.
I doubt not Bayou.
I would like somebody to give me a survival check.
Does this count as the wilderness?
For you, it does.
Perfect.
Hey, I have a 2 in survival.
So do I.
No.
But he has a 3.
That is a 6 total. And a +2 if we're not in town.
There you go.
This is your. It's been a little while, but it's like you know this place like the back of your hand. You've traversed this area a lot. It's pretty smooth sailing to get over, across, past, moving past Halter's Parish. Are you guys attempting stealth? Are you attempting to just paddle by nonchalantly?
We should probably try to keep you under wraps.
Yeah, I'll probably try and stay low at least.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll just throw a
Stay out of
blanket
sight.
over.
You guys will sail past. You're not attempting to like pull up paddles or anything like that. As you sail past, there is a gentleman who's sitting on the kind of back of what you know is like their kind of general goods store / only store in town. You can see a guy sitting back there who seems to be smoking from a pipe. He's
Smelling it from here. Is it the dry or the dank? If we can smell it from here, it's the dank.
You can't smell it from here,
So
but
it's
you
the dry.
no. You see, kind of it's like he's kind of puffing.
I mean, I probably can't.
And you see him like he's having a little trouble keeping it lit. So
it's
it's
the
like he gives like an odd, like a kind of confused look and gives a nod to you as you pass by. And you sail along.
As I slowly pour out all the dank that I just bought the other day.
And a lot of yous sail on
Cruise on by.
past. What is your goal for, or what is your plan of attack for what you're looking for? How you're going about looking?
So wait, I
Because
stopped blasting.
you just fire into the water. Any mad scientists down there? You guys are sailing along, and eventually, like, there's going to be little offshoots and stuff from this as it widens out and gets into the swamp here. What's the point?
It's like it'll have to be like a channel large enough for a boat,
True.
or with deep enough water for a boat. I mean, I guess we really don't know exactly what boat they would use it, but
You know roughly the size of it because you saw the indent in the shoreline from it. It's probably about the size of what you're using.
so which will limit options somewhat as far as where they could have gone. I mean, I don't think there's going to be any signs left over necessarily.
Well, we know this guy.
I mean, we can
doing
keep an eye out for
experiments, right?
keep an eye out for places where boats might have gone past. I mean, if there's just like it's obvious that a boat was going through here a lot.
Rub marks and.
I mean, I'm mad scientists like chemical smells, places that the gators seem to either be thicker than normal or avoid.
Yeah. I guess looking for trail. I guess sign.
I want.
Pokey stick.
Go what?
Who's gonna be like the main
Gators.
people paddling, and who's gonna be the main people on lookout?
Well,
I'm probably gonna be on lookout.
We're not really
I'm the noticed.
we're not all that much of a
How much is your
strength
notice?
party.
3 of the 5 of you can make a notice check. Decide who can do it.
I've got D6 and notice, so I can.
I'm rowing.
I guess I'm rolling.
There you go.
Grimes isn't happy about it, but
I do not like ears. I rolled for it. I do
A
not like
fiver for bogus on
5
the
for
notice.
focus.
and a 5 for me.
You guys are sailing for a while. Sailing, drifting, paddling your own asses through the bayou. And you guys, the only real sign of life that you see comes close, like after you've been sailing down for a good ways, a good while, going into channels here and there to try and notice stuff. The first sign of life you really see is what looks like something hanging off of a tree. And look like kind of paddling closer to it. It at a glance at this distance looks like some like Bayou voodoo shit hung up on a tree nearby. That's the first sign of life you see.
You want to get a closer look?
There is a channel nearby to it.
You know voodoo shit.
Yeah, we'll paddle up closer to get our resident witch.
It's small now.
Go ahead and make it a cold
You
roll.
know voodoo shit more than anybody.
That's voodoo.
Voodoo?
The voodoo that you do.
11 on occult.
You've learned a lot more about occult recently. You knew some about it before, and specifically Bayou voodoo shit you've experienced a decent bit of from your upbringing around these parts. This looks a lot like a voodoo totem sort of thing hanging up there, in the sense of if somebody who didn't really actually do voodoo was like, I'm gonna make some voodoo looking shit, this is what they would probably come up with, and have done a very good job of doing it. But it is not true voodoo.
It's that village of yours from that one shot where it's like, if you were going to build an abandoned village,
This is
exactly what you'd build.
Yeah, this is an uncanny, not real voodoo idol that is hanging from this tree.
Something. Looks like somebody didn't want to be bothered.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to scare people off. Exactly where we want to go.
Hey, good job, Scoob.
The closer we are from danger, the farther we are from
A warning sign! Danger, this way! Come on, guys, this way!
You know you're in the right place because there's enemies this way.
I was about to say, I think that's the way we're supposed to go, because the enemies are spawning over there.
The enemies are spawning over there, and it's gotten darker. This way.
As you paddle closer to it, much like you are walking up to Kavach, the sky suddenly turns redder and redder. Deep cuts. Okay, you guys sailing along. There are more of these, and each one you sail by is the same concept. It's like there's lots of stuff hung up here that are like that looks like it's a shrunken head thing, but it's like clearly that's some sort of weird animal's head shrunken, not a human, and like effort's been done to make this look voodoo-y and like keep people away.
So some Blair Witch Project stuff.
Yeah, but like
Fake. Yeah.
unlike the Blair Witch Project, it's fake.
The movie's still real.
So realistic. And
I'm loading the old sharps.
okay. And as you get kind of keep winding in through this channel and getting closer and closer towards what eventually you can start to see what looks like kind of a sharper cornered silhouette deeper into this. At this point, sun is starting to come up. It's like early morning, and you can see ahead of you a bayou shack. Although the term shack is not giving this thing its just desserts. Like this is a big building, and it's wooden construction, but well made and sturdy looking.
I know a mad scientist building when I see one.
Certainly better than the Landry's old moonshine place.
You can see that it does have a chimney, like a metal tube sticking up one
Is
side.
there
that could
smoke
let
coming out of it?
Not currently. It's not lit. There's nothing inside that you can see. There is a small dock, really more of just like a couple of planks of wood secured on the side there that has no boat added.
Well, let's stop someplace a little bit, like either up or down river, like, and kind of like hide ourselves in the weeds, and maybe go take a
You don't
look.
want to go straight
You
up
think
that
to do that, you will have to do a little bit of swamp stomping. This thing is kind of on an island out here. So if you don't land at the dock and you want to approach on foot, you will have to go through the water.
Whoa.
You'll have to go through the water.
The water.
Sometimes
I'm not doing that.
there's a gator in the water. A man go into the water and it don't come out. That's how it go in the bayou.
How it could go.
I was thinking about that quote a couple days ago. I was like, I can't believe nobody's done that yet in Devil of the West.
There's a gate in the water.
You go in the water, don't come out.
Okay, well, if we don't want to do swamp stomping,
not
Just
doing
pull up. I mean, if we have to fight, we're gonna have to fight regardless. So.
I'll kill a bitch. I'm not walking in that water.
If I'm killing someone, it's a person, not a gator. Let's get on this dock.
Yeah.
I was gonna
What's the
blow,
element of surprise? The element of surprise is we're here. Surprise!
You didn't expect me, did ya? Pow!
I was gonna blow up the first guy we saw.
Why do you think I brought all this nitro with me? I'm ready to burn some shit down.
You guys pull up to the dock. There's like a little horn thing on the side of it that you could tie off to make sure your boat doesn't float away, and you are on this island with the shack.
Play by 2.5 rules. Roll not tying.
Make a use rope check.
Use rope.
I'm gonna load my gun and start walking.
Okay.
Pull out
On my arbitrary roll.
pull out my gadget. Just
Which one?
Pull out my new one.
The flamethrower?
My flaming weapon.
You convert so much flamin with this bad boy. I love the idea that it's like, all right, let's look around for clues. Bogus kicks the front door. Scorched earth policy, boys. Let's go.
It's just a moonshining check. It's a what?
That's amazing. So,
His hearing doesn't get any worse. It's already bad.
what are you guys doing out here? What's your problem? Oh, shit.
bust down the
You're
door.
not gonna come. 1 second. Oh.
Please, time out.
Just,
Stop dancing.
what y'all doing? You are
Trying
on the
to-
island.
I'm gonna walk up to the door.
Okay.
The shack.
You start walking towards the door. What are the rest of you doing?
I was doing that.
Standing back and waiting to see if somebody tries to take a shot at Bogus.
If there's nobody here, I'll watch, like from the door, I'll watch back the way we came while you guys search the building. So that way, nobody sneaks up on us. We don't get reverse ambushed.
First, we gotta wait about the trap on the front door that Bogus is about to
Well,
walk in.
I'm gonna like have them kind of head around because I can play the mad scientist card too if the mad scientist is here.
Hello! Bang!
Bang.
Just go down. So sorry. So everyone's just kind of approaching towards the front door to begin with, at differing levels of closeness. There's not an explosive trap on the door. You can open it. It was left unlocked. I'm
gonna open it and then just peek my head in.
It gets cut off.
Yes. Doors and corners, kid.
Peeking in, like it's fairly dark in here. There are some. This cabin probably, might have like a window that's got curtains drawn on it, so inside you just have the kind of little bit of early morning sunlight coming in from behind you. You can see some like tables and stuff inside of here, but it's hard for you to get a really good look just like cracking and peeking your head in.
Don't worry, I've got my sparkly candle.
Yeah. All right. Here we go.
Better act fast. Thing's got a short piece. So you guys entering into the building.
I'll enter it.
Okay.
Light some candles.
Like you can light get some light source. Start looking in here.
I got a lantern.
I'll post up at the door,
Okay.
kind of keeping an eye back.
Wait, since the owner isn't here, can he enter?
For the sake of this building, it's technically not a residence, I would say. So you can enter in unfettered.
Well, I'm gonna get my lantern because I have a lantern apparently.
Okay, you light up the lantern and head on in.
Yeah.
I guess you guys are just gonna kind of look around and explore, I assume. So go ahead and give me notices.
We're gonna be D&D players and poker noses and everything. And it's the divinity thing where you hold down A and it does like the search function around you.
Take a little drink out of every bottle. That'd be fine.
That's a 3.
Do you want me to give a notice, even though I'm just watching the door? Or?
You go ahead and give me a notice. Yours isn't for inside of the building, though. Yeah.
I've been noticing 2, so is it so this one?
No, 2 cents.
I'll take that.
Yeah. I got 4. 4, 3, 3,
6
explodes. 7.
7.
Who do you have
Rock.
wounds?
9.
You have 3 wounds.
Do I have 3 months?
Yeah, you're still super wounded.
Still fucked up. So what is the
So
actual
it's a
one?
4.
4. Okay. So looking out where you came, you definitely noticed some movement and stuff in the swamp, but no movement that would be irregular for a swamp. And no one seems to be approaching. You haven't set off an alarm, and the ghost squad is coming in to take you all out.
We should have just brought a bunch of raw meat, so then if somebody tried to creep through the swamps to ambush us, we could just start throwing stakes into the swamps.
Well, that's what you set up in your as your trap, right? It's not a shotgun point at the door. It's that if you don't stop the tripwire, it drops a bunch of meat underneath the the building. So then they come back out after searching your place, and their boat's covered in gators.
Looking around this place, there is a number of things you notice. There appears to be, in total, 4 tables here. One of them, you can tell, has at least some of the clamps on the side and hookups for lab equipment. Seems like some of that lab equipment is still here. A lot of it is not. And it seems like it's a fairly simplistic and cheap lab setup. It seems like one that you could, a kind of rough and tumble lab setup on a table here. The other 3 are what I could only describe as autopsy or medical tables that have hook in and latch on points for restraints. And there are 3 of those inside of here. They seem to have been cleaned off. There's at least either not used or cleaned off. There is sign of use, like denting, scraping, things like that. Stuff work has been done on them before, but there's no bodies currently on them, and they're fairly well cleaned up. You also can tell that the lab equipment is pretty near where there's a fireplace sort of set up, kind of a small crucible area to heat things up, something to work along with that. And what else did you see there? A couple other things. The 2 of you with 4s. Who is that?
Me.
You and you.
Hey.
Jeffress, what you kind of find is tossed in one corner is a hat. Kind of a sort of classic flop style, cowboy hat, that seems to have some, it's pretty nondescript, but it's the only real article of clothing that you've found left in here. And that seems to have been kind of discarded and disregarded to a corner of the room. What you notice is there is kind of tucked under just some burlap sacks and stuff in one corner. There's also a box that seems to have been a shipping crate, fairly small shipping crate, not huge, a person could carry it on their own pretty easily. It's clearly got the shipping mark that it's been shipped through the Rocky Mountain Railroad Company. And there's nothing inside except for some packing stuff. It seems like whatever's in there has some level of fragility.
Does it have a sender to and from it?
It does not. It seems like it was shipped through the Rocky Mountain Railroad Company, which you all know from your time in Confluence City is a north-south running railroad that runs along the Rocky Mountains in the middle of the country.
Interesting. So something from up north, something from up north worked its way down here, i.e. that little safe model.
Yeah, but this railroad runs north and south along the Rockies.
Right, but if it was sent like east, I mean west.
It would have had to get sent west and then south and
right.
then back. Somebody probably would have just carried it south. Because you're going like.
What you can tell from this is that if it was shipped, that wherever it was shipped from, probably if its whole goal was to get from somewhere to here, it must be further north and probably further west than Colorado was the origin of this thing. Because it'd be pretty stupid to go back west, get on a rail, or to go from the south up and then across and then back down to the south of Louisiana.
That makes sense. My geography.
Louisiana is southeast, and this railroad runs basically right through the middle of the country through Colorado.
Oh, right.
Yeah, way back out west.
You know that, Rocky Mountain Railroad Company...
No, I was thinking... My brain was thinking that Louisiana was, farther west than it actually was, and I don't know why I was thinking
somewhere in the middle of Texas.
Yeah,
the Rocky Mountain Railroad Company, is, headquartered out of Confluence.
Yeah.
So,
Oregon.
wherever this feller's based is a little bit closer to our base of operations than Louisiana.
That is likely.
There's no notebooks or anything around.
This guy you don't see a book sitting on a counter saying all of my evil secrets. Seems like he brought that book with him.
Where did I leave that book?
Dang it. Can't do evil anymore. Don't remember my secrets for it.
Is it just a one-story
It's a one-story, one room. You can tell that there's enough room inside of here that there might have been other stuff in here at one point, but this is all that's been left behind.
I'm gonna go pick up that hat.
Okay.
Flip their hat.
Look at it.
It is a hat. It seems like, go and give me a notice. Give me a notice, looking closer at it.
And the name written on the inside is Dr. Evil Doer.
Dr. E. Doer. What was that?
11.
11. The hat gives off the scent of ash, earth, and a little bit of rot. And
Moth.
that's about it.
Moth? Is that how moths smell?
I think so. And he was wearing a white-brimmed hat when we saw him, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, that's clever.
Is he
Is the hat clean, I guess? Or does it look like it was
Are you showing Ed the hat? Has Ed seen the hat?
I'll just show everybody the hat. I'll be like, hey, I found the hat.
You turn around, Ed, and immediately notice your brother's flop hat.
I mean, that doesn't tell us anything we didn't already know. Well, you know what? Actually... I don't know how much detail...
That's impossible because I had my brother's foot
Wait,
hat.
no, I don't wear in my inventory. No, I don't
Looks at inventory. Wait a minute.
I don't wear a hat.
You don't think that you don't remember him wearing it the last time you saw him, but it would not be unusual for him to have been buried with it.
Right. Now, I imagine I don't think when he turned into a werewolf, he took the time to grab his hat on the way out the door.
Yeah. You think he was probably sitting in your house and was put on him upon his burial.
That is the wrong...
But you wouldn't know anything about that.
It's true, I wasn't here for that. I...
Puts on the hat and goes full werewolf, puts on his hat and starts whistling out the door.
I have a spell that might give us...
Turns out that
He went full werewolf mode, threw the hat on, and scooted on out the door, whistling Dixie.
It is the South.
See, I thought you meant that Ed was going to put on the hat to turn into a werewolf, and that's how entropy spreads. It's like lice.
they're little tiny
wolves.
They can live for weeks.
I'm not giving Will lycanthropy that easy. He wants it. I know he does.
Just like we're not giving bogus Frankenstein monster syndrome.
First of all, Bjorklund's monster. Second of all, you've got the notes.
I've got the notes I can do. It's just a matter of do I trust some people in this room to do it. Well, of course I wouldn't trust Grimes. I can trust everybody else, probably.
I am going to try. I'm bad at spellcasting. But I'm going to try one of my spells, which is object reading.
Oh, that's a handy one. I was gonna say, alright, who's the closest to a bloodhound here? It's either Jeffers or Grimes.
Ability to see the past of an inanimate object, discovering who held it, where it's been, and what it might have been used for. It's a hat. But like a success allows the character to see events that occurred within 10 yards up to like 5 years in the past. So if this hat was here, I might be able to
Figure out who brought it.
maybe I can get a description of our mysterious
Doctor.
doctor. But that would require me to successfully do spellcasting, which... Here's what I'll do. I'll burn all my bennies to make this work, and then I'll die in the next episode. Tune in next episode where I die because I spent all my bennies. Like right now, for example.
It's so close. 2 3s.
I can't spend a Benny on that.
You cast the spell. You see him like kind of like casting the spell, holding this hat, and there's like a moment where you're like drawn into the memory of this hat.
Yeah.
And the only memories you see are painful ones.
Yep. I was just gonna say, I was like, this will be sad.
It's literally a montage of your own depression, and that is the like. Once it gets you, the last thing you see of the memory of this hat is your brother kind of grabbing at a strange scratch or bite wound and taking the hat off and setting it on a hook on your family home. And that's the last memory you can draw from this hat.
Well,
at least you didn't spend all your bennies, so you probably won't die.
that crit fail wouldn't let it.
Hey, at least you weren't like me who spent bennies on dick rolls.
And then ended up dying because you didn't have a penny left.
well, that's sad.
All because you had to risk the dick roll.
That's sad and
Listen,
worthless.
she improved by 2 inches.
I'll
An inch, I think. I don't
try
think it's
again, like tomorrow or
I'm not
something.
saying nothing.
There's them's 2 PowerPoints I've used.
Now, Grimes, you've done successfully made.
Well, you only
women
spent
like
1
you,
day.
so.
Oh, yeah, 1 Benny and 2 PowerPoints for.
No, 2 PowerPoints.
1 Benny and 2 PowerPoints for depression. Repressed memories.
Alright, so, yeah, they sent something, so their base is someplace northwest of us.
Well, looks like we gotta go northwest.
Washington?
Well, that's the extreme, but
It is northwest of us.
I guess
Montana.
Idaho.
could be any of those.
How evil would it be if they're located
Texas.
in Idaho?
Texas.
Yeah,
That's northwest.
We're probably
Nice.
probably north of Colorado, though.
So
It is northwest of us.
Californians.
So how?
Technically.
Yeah,
Currently.
it's gotta be evil enough if they're gonna go
Oregon.
to Idaho.
Not going any lower than that.
I mean, I don't think anybody at the graveyard would be able to tell us anything about the crate because they're like, yeah, we see 100,000 of those a day. It's
a
a
crate.
crate. If they
It
have,
seems a bit irregular in shape and size. There might be something they could tell, but it's not like it's not got like a address on it or anything along those lines.
It's not like a return to
requires-
sender kind of
That
deal.
requires one of those oddly specific NPCs where you show them the object and they're just like, "Yep, I'd recognize that anywhere on account of its funny shape." And then they give you your next quest objective.
Yeah. It's like, I thought it was a fly fishing rod.
But I mean, depending on how their records go, like how detailed their records are, if this is Dr. Gladstone, they might just like, yeah,
It's like he's
they
not
might just
necessarily
like,
operating under an alias.
yeah. We don't really know much of anything about the guy. I mean, it kind of sounds like either way we're done here.
Anything else? I mean, obviously this place is abandoned. Is there, like, from where we're at, right? Like, we kind of took, like, a path in here through all the voodoo shit. Is there, like, a path out that would be, like, a different way? Or is
There's
it
a
just
back
kinda
door
like-
on this building. But
I mean, like, by boat.
there's not any other like docks. It's kind of on an island, so you could kind of branch out other ways. But by boat, the only real channel wide enough for a boat that leaves from this kind of islandy, marshy spot is the one you came into.
If we went back to the river, is there anything heading downriver? Like,
you could continue past this,
right? But like, if we went far enough downriver, like, do I know if we would hit like a town or like do we? If we keep going downriver, do we end up in New Orleans?
I mean, obviously.
Every river flows.
Are we gonna get there? Are we gonna get there in
leads
time
to
for Mardi Gras? That's Bogus's question. Will we get
Grimes certainly hopes so.
Bogus has a lot of
Grimes
beads
already.
Grimes is pulling out like 6 bead necklaces and putting them on. I ain't gonna have none of these by the end of the night.
Grimes has saddlebags full of bead necklaces.
You think that with how this sprawls and goes out, you could there's nothing nearby. If you were on a paddle boat, it'd be a pretty unpleasant process to get to the.
I'm just trying to figure out whether they took all of their test subjects and equipment back up river, past Halter's Parish.
Just fit into the gators.
It seems like an awful lot of effort to go through to just feed all your test subjects to the gators.
Well, they were done with them.
It's true, but I just don't know, like, but even then, like, there's like lab equipment that are missing and stuff like that, like.
So they obviously took lab.
They took something.
It seems
they
like
took some stuff with them.
What was taken lab equipment wise, especially with your knowledge of lab equipment, was the easier to carry stuff, and it seemed like heavier, bigger things were more or less left behind.
I just wonder if they went back up river or if they went down river and because because if their options are head up river, back through middle of nowhere little towns and communities, or head down river and hit a city.
Probably the second.
Did we ever
They'd
figure?
probably go with the second.
Did we figure out where
You could get to big city eventually. It would just take a long time. You probably want a nicer boat.
those 3 people that we found out about that we were assuming took the body?
Mm-hmm.
What was the direction that we were told
They were
went?
going north.
East.
No.
I think they left Halter's Parish headed east. Is what we were told.
Is there a town east of Halter's Parish that we?
There's a whole lot of country east of Halter's Parish. There's one town directly east, yeah, but that's probably where you guys sailed out from.
Maybe if we can find those 3.
Well, you don't have any names.
Well, I also wouldn't
Yeah.
be
You
entirely.
know Sally.
Sally.
I also wouldn't be entirely surprised if those 3 ended up on the testing table.
I mean, we could always head back to Confluent City and.
Yeah, that's kind of that's kind of where I'm leaning. Is that I think at this point we have to head back to HQ because I just don't know if there's anything left for us to find out here.
Well, let's take this box with us. Maybe someone can jar a memory. Like, hey, you ever seen this, like a weird box like this come through? Have you seen another one like it?
Find a box specialist. They'd be like, well, yeah, that's this here type of box.
You said there was stuff on the box.
Well, there's like
There's a marking, branding.
There's a branding of where it was shipped through which railroad company, and then inside of the box there seemed to be some packaging and essentially packing peanuts. It seemed to be
Straw, probably.
it is probably straw. Like something that was packed in here was done some way to try and keep it from jutting around.
Wasn't
and
there
potentially
like
breaking.
satchels on it or something like that, or was there like
There was it was discarded in a corner where burlap sacks and stuff were.
burlap sacks? Anything in those sacks?
It seems like they just probably held it was supplies and other just to transport other goods probably.
Okay.
foodstuffs, but like
Nothing, no information or valuables.
We could try asking.
more valuables.
Only one gold bar.
Putting that between my cheeks.
We could try
Running out of
asking.
room.
Maybe in Halter's Parish, or because people in Halter's Parish tend to notice out of towners. So even if people pass by on the river, somebody in Halter's Parish might have noticed, or at the town where we rented the boat, somebody there might be like, "Yeah, I saw a fella in a double-breasted lab coat with black rubber gloves that went up past each elbow and kept talking about science and how nobody understands him or whatever."
Yeah, haircut, weird one. Kind of covered just one eye, slanted across his face.
He kept going like, "Mwah, mwah."
We had a thunderstorm that night, and he just stood out in the rain laughing at the sky. I mean, I doubt it'll be that easy.
He kind of looks like your friend, your old friend.
He looks over, Professor Bogus standing there laughing at the sky.
We've got him! Oh, sorry. Yeah.
I guess that's our plan, just to head back to the towns and
I mean,
ask
I think-
around.
Do anything else on the island before you go?
I think we kind of have our clue here.
Does any of the lab equipment look expensive?
No.
It looks like it's the like heavy bracketing on that they like mount to the sides to like hold beakers and stuff like that. It's like in its decent quality metal, but it's not like you could unclamp all of this and have like 50 to 60 pounds of metal.
And all of it is probably worth 60 cents.
And it's like you could like the raw value. I mean, it's lab equipment. You could probably sell it for some buckage, but you'd have to find somewhere that wants rough and tumble lab equipment. Like,
is there anything I can throw on the ground and break?
Definitely.
I'll do that.
Okay, you can like unlatch a little thing on the side and throw it. It snaps the little beaker holding neck thing off the end of it.
He's not upset. He's just having fun.
Burn it down.
I guess so. Like,
All right, everybody out.
We can't come use this spot again.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like the fire's going to spread. We're in the bayou.
It's true.
It'll be tricky enough to start it.
It's true. That's what we got.
Everybody stand back.
for.
Or the flamethrower.
Oh, right.
The Flammenwerfer.
Yeah, I guess load up. We're headed back into town.
So you Flammenwerfer the place down. It's a little bit of work, but you're able to do so. Heading back to the boat and starting to sail out. The boat kind of like shifting off the dock. You go out a little ways, and the boat like thumps against something, but it gives way. And it continues.
I look back over our shoulder.
Okay. The water is very murky. Give me a notice. You'll have a -2 on this.
Do we got a poking stick?
4 minus 2.
2.
You can't tell.
I'm gonna try it.
I'll go with an oar and see if it snaps at the oar.
Fair enough.
And if it grabs the oar, let go.
You kind of hit resistance, and it kind of shifts like you push something away from you. But it definitely resists you a little bit.
I grab it.
You reach down and grab
I'm
it?
sticking my hand in.
Okay. You stick Grimes like you stick your hand in and you grab hold of what I can.
Gator drags him into the bayou and we go, he'll be fine, Lamar.
You just see this fat gator really uncomfortably crawling around like Ace Ventura when nature calls crawl.
You guys are seeing all the like Mike's Harder Lemonade, like Harder Farmer, where he like pulls that guy out of the gator.
You reach in and like you have to kind of go a decent bit down, but you grab a hold of something that's very. It feels
bitey.
Not bitey. It's not scaly. It's almost kind of rubbery, slimy. And like as you kind of like grab a hold of it, it's like that. Like it feels somewhat solid, but your fingers kind of sink in really easily into it, and like it seems like a piece of it almost comes off if you grab and pull. And you reach and pull out what clearly to you looks like a torn off shred of bloated human skin. Now there's a lot of games.
Really? That's by no means the worst thing we've seen.
Well, I found some bodies.
Let's the hull
Second
out
cousin.
of the water.
I guess I'll get like a rope and like try to like.
Trying to get it tied up underneath there.
I see.
That'll require you to have your like arms pretty like you over the edge and pretty well deep in the water for a little bit of time to try and loop this around the body in a way that'll pull it out.
Would I be able to use my Could I just use my entangle gadget to like kind of?
Oh, that's not
You
bad.
would certainly tie it up, but you don't have a string on the other end of it you can pull. That would just wrap around the outside of it.
I'm
Around the
It's
outside,
not a grappling
around the
hook.
outside.
Go Bayou girl. Around the outside.
I'm looking for gators.
I'm from the bayou. I'll stick my hand in there and help pull the body out.
I want the two of you to give me a use a rope check. Just both roll me like an agility for how well you do it and how quickly. Give me a notice there, Grimes. On Gator Patrol.
Control.
That's a. It looks like that's a total of 0 for Grimes because of Grimes' wounds.
Had 3 wounds.
He's keeping an eye out, but he's looking up at this guy.
Grimes is like. Meanwhile, 2 gators are sitting where he's looking back at the house like, I don't see any gators coming out of that burnt down shack.
That's a 7.
Grimes just forgot.
The 2 of you work quick enough that if gators were coming, they don't get there in time. And you guys are hauling this body up. You kind of have to go back up on the shore and drag it up onto there. It's kind of horrific. Like, the body has been underwater and it's so, like, bloated and waterlogged that it's, like, shredding away at it to have the rope tied around. It's very gross. And dragging it up onto it, you can see, at this point, you knew all the Landrys. You're not confident you could say which one this one was. If potentially it was a Landry. It seems like a human corpse, adult-sized. If anyone would like to make a medicine check to look over the body, they certainly can.
I mean, if
or
it's
a notice, but it'll tell you very different things.
If it's adult size,
I'll
that does.
I'll do a
decrease.
medicine check. Why not?
Notice.
All right, Dr. Bogus.
I can't do any notices.
So
5 on the notice.
5 on the notice.
the 2. I mean, so what were the 2 options? Notice
That's
and medicine. Oh.
That is a. Oh wait, no. That's a 3 for Bogus.
3.
Remind me. So
Wait, I have medicine, don't
I don't know if you have this in your notes. I can look it up if I have to. Who were the 2 Landrys that were found? Was it David and John?
That sounds reasonable to me.
Because I don't think it was either of the girls, and I don't think it was either of the
healing.
youngest.
Yeah.
Why does it say healing?
I? Yeah, it's healing instead of medicine in this system.
Oh, you can do healing. Whatever the medical one.
Medicine.
You're not a freaking.
Because Old Man John was the
Only-
moonshiner, and he died years ago. And then the 6 that went missing, I think it's David and John that were found. So if it's an adult, it's probably the mother.
What's left of the hair seems pretty long.
Okay. Ooh. Yeah, it could be. This could be one of the Landry girls.
Can we tell if it's a female?
Gross.
Here's the thing. You can tell by like kind of body shape. Like there's not like clear male genitals left on it, but the chest whole area is like sloughed and torn off from the rope pulling it out. It's got longish hair. You think if you had to wager, you'd think probably a woman corpse, but it's bloated and waterlogged and like all the nearly featureless. It's
So
been
it's-
underwater so long.
It's either one of the Landrys or this
Somebody else.
Sally person probably.
Oh, could be Sally. What can I notice? What color the hair is?
The hair seems darker, probably brown or black. Before it was all goot.
Yeah.
So what's the checks all around? 2 and
medicine.
3 in medicine.
5 notice.
5 notice. Did you make a check? Okay. 5 on notice. Looking over it, clearly the feet have been bound together and kind of what looks like hooked to just a weight to drag it to the bottom. And you can see that there are still signs like the wrists still have restraints hooked to them, the kind that would be able to latch onto that table.
Ding, ding, ding. Tossing the old subjects.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you think the rest of the test subjects are?
We can try to fish them out if you want.
While everybody's examining the body, I want to pull around in the boat a little bit.
Okay.
See if kind of like
Using your word, like-
specifically like kind of pulling around to see if there's bumping
really
anything
quickly,
else.
what else you guys can see is this is the medicine check would have told you different information. This is edging on that, but not really. This rope drug and kind of tore up the body quite a bit, but you can also just looking over it see clear signs of like what looks like almost animal damage to the body or like stab wounds. There's clearly a bite, harsh, like a big bite on the side that kind of in on the rib cage. A lot of it's covered up by the skin bloating and sloughing off, but this thing seems to have potentially been torn up by a werewolf. Like this body was probably killed or damaged by that.
And make it one of the Landrys.
Dragon, go ahead and give me. We'll call it a notice, I guess. Notice.
An or-assisted notice. Oh.
That's a
Next stab.
14.
You don't find any other corpses splashing this around, but like Dragon, you can like hit the bottom, and as your oar drags, it catches and hits against what you think are probably like flat surface, like things shaped like the weights on the bottom of this one's feet. Seems like there was probably other bodies down here. This one was probably just gnarly enough by the time I got down there that not even the gators wanted it.
That's pretty gnarly. Well, it seems like they were doing, maybe holding to see if they turned.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And if they didn't, they were fed to the ones that did.
Or just tossed out. Turning us in the bayou.
It seems like there's enough weights that you can find splashed around out here that all of the Landrys would be accounted for as having been over the edge here.
Damn.
Do we burn down the Landry house when we get back?
Kind of hoping at least one of them made it.
Maybe one of them did. Dun, dun, dun.
There's at least one weight per Landry. You don't know if it was Landry who was tied to
Right.
each one.
Well, and they could have. I mean, who knows where they were getting test subjects and stuff.
Well, that's a bummer. Dead body. Gator eating that dead body.
A decomposed dead body. Or decomposing.
I mean,
Body so gross even the gator would eat that dead body.
good if you. I mean, Sheriff of Halter's Parish would probably appreciate seeing this, but I was about to say, like, we don't need to, like...
This is one of those, like,
we don't need
unsolved mysteries.
We don't need questions asked on this.
Because the answer is gross.
Also, way too complicated.
So yeah,
It's like if somebody actually got abducted by aliens and, like, somebody knew about it, they're like, I can't even begin this.
Let me explain. That takes too long. Let me
Let
some.
me see.
So yeah, we have a couple options. We can just leave the body or bury it, or I don't know.
Probably bury it.
I'll get the shovel.
From where? What shovel?
Yeah, sure, we don't
Out yours.
Yeah, we can't bury it.
Yeah.
Do it's
With
on
what?
a horse.
I got some wooden stakes, ironically.
We could cremate it.
So I still have
What?
2 wooden
By
stakes.
flamming
It's a water bloated body.
I don't know.
I want to note, point out that I look through my belongings and find 2 wooden stakes and throw them in. Like, oh, I forgot about these.
I mean, that's no different than a person carrying a gun. These are
this
designed to
would
kill
kill me.
werewolves. Wait a minute. This is designed to kill vampires. Wait a minute.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think there's any dignity for the dead in this one.
No. Might as well just leave it, I guess, where we found it.
Yeah.
Toss it overboard. Get your...
Well, we don't have to throw it back in the water, like, unless that's what we're thinking.
But that's a lot of work to bury this thing.
We don't have to bury it, we
We
Leave
can
it.
throw it in
How is it
the
different if we leave
burnt
it on the
shack
side of
and
the...
just
That's it.
No, but that's what I'm trying to get. We can just
This
leave it
man
on the
clearly
side.
drowned in a
like-
burnt down shack.
That's gonna when the investigators find a drowned corpse in a burnt down shack. They're gonna be like, "What in the?
Yeah.
This is some real Sherlock Holmes short story shit here." Like,
They're gonna be like, what sort of horrific voodoo ritual ended with this having happened?
Again, like Erickson said, and Rangy said, there's no dignity for the dead in this case right now.
yeah, I think we just leave it on the shore and
Just walk away.
head back out.
Gross.
Can't
We're not touching that thing.
Well, then don't touch it. Get in the damn boat.
can't really do
I've already-
anything for him now apart from avenge him.
It's true.
Add it to the list of people need avenging.
I need vengeance. So, you all are loading back up on the boat?
Yep.
Sailing out?
Sailing back out.
Okay.
Ooh.
It's much more effort to go back to where you started than it was to get here. Worth saying, if you sail back now, going straight there, I mean, it's more resistance. You'd probably be arriving in Halter's Parish in the kind of late afternoon, evening time. Are you going to sail back at that time, or are you wanting to try and sail at night again? You think you could probably time it to sail at night if you want? You just have to, like, hang out on the island.
I mean, if we're passing by, I don't know if it matters.
Well,
It's also suspicious.
We could also just. Didn't we bury you last time? Or didn't cover you with something?
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's. I mean, it's
You
also
just do it at
suspicious.
night.
It's also suspicious to just be like, "Who are those fellers in the boat in the middle of the night?"
Yeah.
But we're less likely to be questioned at night. Like, it looks suspicious, but
We're fishing.
we're not fishing. We're snipe hunting. Here, snipe.
I think
I'm okay with me again.
It's like get a bunch of kids run around the woods with pillowcases,
Yeah.
No,
Going on a
making
snipe hunt.
noises.
Get eaten by gators.
Yeah, it's true. You don't go snipe. You don't have a snipe hunt.
have a snipe on the bayou.
In the bayou, yeah.
I am.
I think we wait till night. That's my pitch.
Yeah, we don't want anyone coming and trying to kill you.
You guys have to kind of stand or hang out on this island with the nasty dead body for a couple hours, but you'll be able to. So.
I'll pull out some cards.
Go fish. Oh. Too soon, man.
Oh, hey, you washed your hands, right?
In a what? Swamp water?
it's still cleaner than after touching the dead body.
So you all load up, sail back across the night. This time there's no confused individual on the back dock this time. But you're able to
Hey,
do
look!
that.
Hey, look! The dank tobacco's still there on the side.
And you guys arrive in the early nightfall in that original town you left out from.
Alright, well, let's collect our horses, and I guess we're headed back towards Confluence City. Is that the
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
the
that's
general plan?
gotta go
We
talk
can
to
drop off our stuff at the museum.
Visit the wife on the way by.
Yep, of course.
Naturally.
Try to wash off this swamp gunk in between here and there.
You all load up and ride out. Leaving here, I mean, if your goals is kind of like a straight-on ride to get home for you, you can do so and arrive there. To
Is it a
avoid,
long enough time to do a healing
you
check?
guys can do a medicine check during that time.
Nice.
Those of you who are hurt,
Grimes at this point.
Grimes, you got a toughness?
those of you who are near dead,
Why do I have to do
Just a bigger roll.
you're almost dead.
Because you're the one with the wounds.
But I want a pretty lady.
This -3.
I want to be a big baby about it.
Ooh, 6 explodes.
What I'm saying is
6 explodes.
So 13 -3.
Okay, so you get 2 back. You only have 1 wound left.
Hey, man.
I
It's
just
feeling
need
pretty
a
It's
good.
because his immune system had to fight off the swamp, and so it's.
Yes.
It works
Extra
overtime.
white blood cells all over the place.
I didn't need a pretty lady, guys.
He didn't need a nurse to.
He just.
Not this time.
It's not the nurse that you have; it's the nurse in your heart.
And the nurse in Grimes' heart has had to fight enough STDs, and it's a very strong nurse.
She's Russian, at least.
She's got a huge pots blend.
Huge. Thoughts, man. So you guys ride on. I mean, unless you're wanting to stop and chat with anybody, we can kind of be a little hand wavy about. You meet up with the wife. You spend some time catching up with the wife.
We've still never met the sheriff of that town.
Well, he's a drunk, so.
How do you know?
Because
Buckwash told
Lockjaw
us.
was the.
But I mean, do we want to take the word of buckwash? What even is his name?
If you had used a Benny so far this session, you would have got 1 back.
I think if Buckwash tells you somebody's an alcoholic, that means it's real bad.
I guess that's fair.
It's just so bad that he's leaving him up. That he's effectively the sheriff, which is.
That is
Which is
horrifying.
also a scary thing.
That's horrifying in its own right.
Yep. I make sure the wife's getting my checks.
Yeah, I mean, assuming you're not accosted by anything, I think we're just kind of passing through.
Yeah.
You're giving all your money to your wife, so that's why you only have $5.
Yeah.
So you guys are riding on and heading to Confluence City?
Yeah.
We can be, again, for the sake of this, the travel will go pretty easily. By the time you arrive there, Louisiana there, for the sake of this, you guys aren't like going. You like spent time there and then ride to Confluence City, so you can have 1 more heal check
there's
on
another
your arrival.
chance.
It's just at a -1 from your wound, but no benefits on this one.
So a tree.
A 3.
Ooh,
So
damn
you
close.
still have the 1 wound, but you guys will arrive back in Confluence City. Where are you guys heading?
I'm gonna head to that fucking museum.
Yeah, I think we're heading back to the headquarters.
So you guys are all heading back to the museum?
Sounds good.
Drop some stuff off. Check in with
You guys
the staff.
You guys start riding down the kind of one of the streets and heading towards there.
I don't like that it didn't jump us straight to the museum.
And you hear somebody call out from behind your group. You kind of like ride past, and most of you don't really notice anything. You're the most noticing of this. Jeffers, you do notice there's like a guy there, kind of looks younger guy, looks a little dumb to you. He's kind of got a 1,000-yard stare on. But you notice him kind of like lock eyes with your group and watch as you ride, kind of like as you ride past. And then you hear coming from that corner, but all of you hear calling out from behind you, Grimes, Deep Fingers Garcia, you son of a bitch! And with that, that's where we're going to stop this episode of Devils of the West.
I think Grimes has this.
It was just a question of who's getting called out this time.
Thank you for watching, everybody, and we'll see you in the next one.